Hey, it's time for Point and Shoot. This week we talk about minimalist architecture. What is that? Well, think of minimalism and think about architecture. We put that together this week in the community. We also take a look at some shots from above the clouds featuring some of our community members. Check it out. Hey folks, what's going on? Aunt Pruitt here. Hope you're doing well. I'm unbelievable as always. It is Thursday, June the 11th, and it's time for another weekly hangout on air with the smartphone photographers community. Each week we like to get together. I try to do this each week, but anyway, we like to get together every Thursday and discuss different tips and tricks to make you a much better smartphone photographer. Because believe it or not, this little phone you carry around that has a little camera on it that you use to take all the pictures in the club with you and your drink and your food and all of that, those cameras are actually pretty good. You just don't know it. And we can show you how to get the most out of those little cameras where you don't have to spend so much money on those big DSLRs that's out there. You know what I mean? We also take a look at a weekly challenge that's proposed in the community and discuss that. For some reason, I have a gnat flying around or something flying around in here. It must be drawn to my light. So if you see me swatting at something, just pay no attention to me.
Get them all deuce and shoot it down.
Jeez. All right. But anyway, yeah, we also have little challenges each week that are photography related, of course. And we discuss that too. Tonight, I'm joined by one of my moderators, my man down in the Tejas area, Mr. Michael King. How you doing, bro?
Well, I'm doing good. I'm still busy with getting caught up from the flooding that we had over Memorial Day. It's getting better, but I'm doing good. It's hot. It's supposed to get more rain now by this weekend, and we need rain because we're dry. Right now, the grass is so dry, it's cracking.
Yeah, it's that time of year, man. It's that summertime heat starts to kill it all off, unless you got Bermuda grass. And yes, I'm a grass nerd. Sorry.
I am too. Ours is, of course, the St. Augustine. That's what it's out in the around the courtyard or the apartments.
That's what's up, man. Good to have you here. Appreciate you joining us. If any of our other community members decide to join tonight, they'll pop in one after the other, or they'll ping me and say, hey, can I get in? Can I get in? And I'll take care of that. So sometimes you might see someone pop in a little late, but it's all good. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at this week's challenge that we had proposed by Miss Nicole H. Now, she proposed this challenge called Minimalist Architecture. Minimalist Architecture. Now, personally, I had no idea what that was. I just had to do a little, I guess, grammar breakdown, if you will. Minimalist architecture and what that is and so forth, and just put them together. And for me, it boiled down to being just the simplicity that you see in certain architecture nowadays. Now, granted, 30, 40 years ago, or heck, even up to 100 years ago, some buildings and architecture, it wasn't as simple. It was a lot more elaborate. You had a whole lot of different pillars and columns and braces and joists and things that connect this to that and what have you. Where nowadays, a lot of things are getting a lot more artistic and elegant and simplified. So you're going to see a lot of, single beams. You're going to see a lot of curves and things of that nature when you start thinking about minimalism. If I wanted to take that from the architecture world and put it into something most people are a little more familiar with, say like computing and mobile phones, think about the iPhone and Apple. Apple tends to use a minimalist approach on a lot of their things. If you see like an iMac computer, it is literally one screen and one simple keyboard. There's not a whole bunch of stuff hanging out of the side of it. There was like 2 cables that came out of it. That was it. They wanted it minimal. The iPhone, they designed that the smartphone back then to be a slate of glass and one button. It was minimal. So that's the way you have to sort of look at it with regards to architecture too. And it may be hard to find depending on where you live, but you don't necessarily have to focus on the outside of a building. You could also focus on the inside of a building or even inside of your home. So that was a challenge, minimalist architecture. So what I'm going to do now is share my screen. Well, sorry, King, do you agree? Did I explain that good enough?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
because you said at one point we had the Federalist, then we had or the Federal style, then we had Victorian, which
Yeah.
has all of that fancy work, and then you get your little ranch, which is really the ranch was like the first minimal type art building.
Yeah, exactly. You nailed it. All right. So what I'm going to do is share my screen of photos that were submitted by the community members here. So let me make sure I got the right screen. Bum, bum, bum. That one. Yeah, there we go. All right. So you guys should see my screen now, right? Yep. No. Yes. No.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Now we had about 19 different photos submitted. I appreciate the community taking the time to participate in this event and getting the photos in. Thank y'all very much. So we're going to go through and just sort of highlight a handful of the shots before we look at the top vote getter. I want to start with my man, Boris Moretsky. Boris is he's been using the Galaxy Note in this community for as long as I can remember, and I think he's now up to the Note 4, the latest Galaxy Note, and he does a really, really good job with that camera. He does a lot of different landscapes, or not landscape. He does a lot of different cityscape shots. When I've gone back looking through his history from the Berlin, Germany area. And this here is just, as he mentions, it's just a neighborhood in Berlin. And, he looked up, saw a good light, snapped it, thought it was a great opportunity, snapped a shot. And that's what it's all about. I'm going to go ahead and give him a vote, by the way, because I like the shot. From a minimalistic architecture standpoint, I think this is fairly minimal, because it looks like each of these are just floors divided up, basically. So there's not a whole lot of elaborate work going on. You have vertical lines, you have horizontal lines, in addition to it all being a diagonal intercept right here. His lighting is well done. It's not a lot of blown out light from the sunshine here. It comes in just enough. I assume he cropped it down to not have a huge bright light over here on the right hand side. And I like the fact that he cropped it down and left just enough to let you know the sun was shining and you can actually see the direct effect of the sunlight right in this area here. Well done. Looks like you put it through a little filter as well inside of Snapseed. Yep. Snapseed, the mobile photography editor. And put it in black and white. Looks pretty daggone good. I don't think I would have done much different on it. I would have tried to contrast just a tad more just to see what happens, because I'd like to have a little more edgy and a little darker black, because that's just my preference. But anyway, what about you, Mr. King? What are your thoughts on this shot?
Yeah, it's very minimal. It could look like just a plain concrete skyscraper, or not skyscraper, a building. So yeah, it fits it in. Really, I wouldn't have. Sometimes you can get something too dark, and I think he got his just right.
You think? I think you said sometimes people go too dark.
Yes, right. You lose some of your shadows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess there is a line that you got to have with it. Whoa, I don't know what just happened there. Sorry. Anyway, so I guess there is a line that you have to draw when it comes to the brightness of your shot, especially when dealing with the black and white, because, sometimes it's really nice to see the different shadowing areas of a black and white shot. I guess because a lot of it is defining the image. Right?
Yes. Just like if it got too dark on that side, they look like the underside, underneath the windows, mm-hmm. You would lose that kind of some of that some of that detail if it got too dark.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. All right, but that's Boris Maretsky with the Note 4.
It's always good.
All right, so let's take a look at another one. Let's go to the challenge winner from last week, Miss Nicole H. All right, now I have no idea what this building is or where this building is, but the way she shot this, she shows minimalism, right?
Yeah.
She shows minimalism. There's 3 abstract objects right here, and they look like there's some type of structural pieces for the actual building. So it does qualify. I like this photo. My only gripe is I would have gotten rid of this up here myself.
Yeah, I agree. I would have cropped it down to the top of that molding.
So I'm gonna try to play around with it there.
Right there. I would crop it all the way across.
So I do something like that and all the way across like that. I would have liked it a little better if that white area wasn't showing like that. That's my preference. And also, if you were able to bring it up to right there, because I like this diagonal line.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. But again, good shot, Nicole. Good shot.
Again,
she used a Galaxy S5, Photoshop Express to adjust the clarity, and Pixlr Express. Huh. Interesting. And there's her hidden watermarks as usual.
Yep. But again, even that, the curves are just plain. There's very little high detail on anything. It's just a curve and everything. So I kind of like to see what the whole building looked like, but that's perfect where it is. She would have cropped it where you said it'd be even a better shot.
And I do sort of wonder what the rest of the building would look like, but what if the rest of the building is like crazy elaborate outside of this little section? So again, she gets kudos for being able to at least capture just this piece of it in regards to the parameters of the challenge. So Nicole H, shout out to you. Well done as usual. All right, let's take another one here. I want to go talk about Miss Tony Creason. Tony Creason. She took this shot while she was out on vacation. I believe it was California. Yep, she was at Sacramento, California. And I don't know if you guys know about this store. Unfortunately, I do know about that store. Sephora. You ever heard of that, Michael?
I've heard of it, but I've heard of the name, but I don't know what it is.
Well, Sephora is a ladies' perfume and cologne, all of that makeup and stuff. It's a boutique store for ladies. And I've been in there a few times. I have a colleague that used to run a bunch of those. And it's funny because everything is so curvy and elegant with them. You have like the sections of the counters and whatnot. They're clearly defined with straight, bold lines. And then they have little curvy accents, just like the way this glass door is. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a standard glass door, but they didn't put a regular handle on it. They put a nice curvy handle on it. I mean, so it's very, very minimalistic. And I'm glad she picked up on that. I really like this shot, and having the reflection of the door handle in here gives it a whole different effect. It feels like you can grab both pieces of that handle just because of the reflection, even though you can only grab one. I wish she was able to either get rid of that R, the cutoff R, but it doesn't take away from it that much. It does get my attention, but this is still very good, Miss Tony. And I think she used a Droid Max. Yeah, she used a Droid Max to catch this one.
Yeah, I can see what you're talking about, because even the lines going back and forth, I mean, they're going across the door. Right. They're just as straight as can be.
Yeah,
crisp line.
It's very, very. It almost reminds me of walking into an Apple store when you walk into their place.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because everything is like literally black and white and sort of pristine, clean look. There's no clutter. Everything is always perfectly aligned. And it is really a really nice store. No, I don't shop there, but I know that it's a nice store.
Yes.
Is there anything you'd have done differently on this, bro?
No, I wouldn't. She did something I probably wouldn't have thought of. Just looking at that now, but it's just incredible. I can't. I would. I think if, like you say, I would have cut off a little bit of the R or shown all the R. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's nice. I like how you said she did something you would have never even thought of.
Yeah. I didn't think I would have never thought of that.
Yeah. Good job, Tony. Good job.
I know about Apple stores. I go there quite frequently.
Yeah, we all know about those Apple stores, don't we? We're a bunch of computer nerds in here. All right. I want to pick on two more before we get to the winning shot. Excuse me. And
how about that one in the middle? That one with the curves on the front.
Where are you? Here?
Next one down one, over one.
That one.
Fenderly.
Yeah, Fenderly.
Yeah.
This one is pretty nice. I have a hard time with it being minimalism because of the different. I guess because of the way the brick sticks out to me. I don't know. Maybe if those bricks weren't as defined, it'd be okay with me. But I didn't see this as minimalist. I saw this like Lego, and in my opinion, there's nothing minimal about Lego. Period.
No, because it looks. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But look how detailed the.
This camera did a great job. I mean, you can see brick for freaking brick.
And then it looked like the fleur de lis. Mm-hmm. Or they lights. I can't tell. Look like something you would find in the French Quarter.
Yeah, it does. He didn't mention, but he used an old iPhone 4S. And it's funny. I've had some people talk about the iPhone 4 and 4S and how they're like, man, I got an old 4S, blah blah blah. I can't get good photos, and I'm like, well, I know some people that still shoot with a 4 and 4S, and they tend to get some nice shots. So it ain't the phone, buddy. it's the holder of the phone. What are your thoughts, bro?
I agree, and the minimalist. I can't talk straight. This one's not very minimal. It looks very ornate. Because I said all the curves going over the windows. Yeah, they are so. There's nothing minimal, really. To be honest, there's nothing minimal about that. No. But it's a beautiful shot, though.
It's very nice, but I don't think it fits minimalist or minimalism.
Right.
All right. Let's go and pick on my man down here, Mr. Chris Seam. Another one where it's just a line or two and some curves, and I like a few things about this shot. I like the temperature of it. It's sort of a cool feel to it, and then you add water into the scene that gives it a little more cool feel as well. The detail of this thing is very nice. Why? Because it used a Galaxy S6 camera. We all know those things are really nice with capturing as many pixels as possible, giving you lots and lots of detail. I like the way this shot is framed up. If you look at it from a rule of thirds standpoint, so let's take a look at it and divide this thing up into threes. Okay, so it's 3 there and 3 there. My eye immediately goes to this intersection where the two bridges come together, and that's right on that rule of third intercept line. So very nicely done there. My only suggestion, Mr. Chris Seam, up in the Spokane area, I know you had the Camera FV5 app. Next time, go out with this and take this shot a little later in the day. Pull out Camera FV5, set your shutter speed to about 2 seconds, then snap. And tell me what happens. Let's see what shot comes out from there. Because I bet if he was to slow that shutter down He'll get a really, really pretty shot of this water. It'll be nice and smoothed out. It'll almost look like glass. And he'll have the same tone and contrast with the dark areas and the white highlighted areas. I bet it will look really good if he was to go back out there a little later in the day, not right at the same time because there's too much sunlight out there, but go out there a little bit later in the day, and hopefully you'll still have a lot of these shadowy areas. And try that with about a 1 or 2 second shutter speed on your smartphone. And just use the camera FV5 app or any other app that you know of that allows you to control the shutter speed. Anyway, Mr. King, anything you would do different with this shot or any other comments on it?
Yeah, I like it. It's just the one of, everything, all the rule third, everything's framed perfectly. Perfectly. Only thing, the sky's just a little washed. I would try to punch up the color a little bit to kind of get the sky a little bluer.
Make it a little more blue, give it a little more saturation.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I agree with you on that. I can dig that.
That's other than that, since I don't know the app and what it does, I would love to see if he took your suggestion, see how it looks, and kind of punch up the saturation just a tad.
Yeah, I think it would look really good. So, Chris, if you're watching, give that a shot if you get some time in that area again, and let us know in the community. Be sure to tag me in the community so I can take a look at it, and maybe we can get it published on one of the websites too. Please and thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and pull up the wedding photo. Boom. This one comes from, boy, am I going to struggle trying to pronounce this name.
Oh, yeah, that's the same one as Zaratsky.
So first, let me just go ahead and sip my beer, because I can blame it on the beer if I screw it up. All right. Matuis Jazak.
Yeah, I think this is the first time. This is the first time winner, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a first time winner for him. He's been in the community for a little while, and he's been putting some nice things out there. So, but this is his first time winning the challenge. So, and first off,
minimum.
Congratulations on getting the most votes on this shot. And from a critical standpoint of this photo, minimalist, yes, very, very minimal. And again, it makes you wonder, where was he when he shot this? Because he's got shadows. He's got, looks like another shadow of another building over here, or, which if he would have zoomed out from this, who knows what this would look like around there. But what he's got framed up, he's got 4 layers, 4 windows, horizontal line, vertical line, plain, simple, minimal. The color tone is rather soft. I wonder what would it look like if this was a little more punched up, like you said, with the sky, if there was a little more saturation over here. Let me put this on my other monitor half a second. Hold on. Yeah, I would like to try to boost the saturation just a hair on this to bring those colors out. He used the Sony Xperia Z3 Compact. This is one of those smaller smartphones, if I'm remembering. And but still, this is a nice frame shot, and a good job, Mr. Jazak or Jazak. Sorry for butchering and screwing up your name, but I struggle with that. What are your thoughts, Mr. King?
Everything you agree, because I love the way that, because this has to be, of course, the side looks like it's a fire escape going out. So this is a probably what this probably is. Look like it's for you have to evacuate, but I like it. It is minimal. I mean, there is just and it's well framed. If anything, I might have tried to bring the crop down to the kind of get the same proportion from the top to bottom, or or let the little one bottom kind of come down a little more. Yeah. Other than that, because see, that little corner kind of catches me right at the very top. If you look go up, follow that line going straight up, you can see on the other side, right there, you can see the other part of the building that jets out.
Yep.
or is that a shot? I can't tell if that's a shadow. It might be
looks
a
like
shadow.
it looks like a shadow though.
Yeah, I would have cropped down just below that, because then everything would have been more proportionate.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I dig that.
That's the only complaint I have. I voted for it, but it's just a minor little nitpick.
I did that. You pulled out a little sweetie nitpick on him, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's a great shot. It's just that that little kind of that one shadow of another building kind of throws you off a little bit. That's it. Otherwise, nice. It's perfect.
Good job, Mr. Jazak or Jazak. Again, congratulations. Well done with this shot. You will now be tasked with coming up with a new challenge for our community this week. So I will be pinging you in the community and see if we can get an idea for a new challenge, and you can get it published out on the events calendar, or you can just send the details to me and I'll publish it on your behalf. I have no problem doing that. All right, so let's turn off my screen share and move this stuff back out of the way so I know what I'm doing. All right.
No comment.
Sometimes I know what I'm doing, man. Give me a little credit. I mean, at least this week we'll have somewhat decent audio, unlike last week's fail. Good. Yeah. Smart Alec. All right. Before we got out of here, I wanted to pick on two photos that were shared in the community. These were not part of a challenge or anything, but they got my attention because number one, I like them. And number two, okay, let me rephrase that. Number one, I like the photos. I also like the photographers, but I like the photos. And number two, they're very similar in the shots that they grabbed. So let me hop over to yet another screen share, and we're going to pull these photos up.
I think I know the ones you're going to bring up.
Right, so screen share and pull this tab over here like so. And right there. Boom. All right. First shot comes from, again, Tony Creason. This was another photo taken with her Droid Max. And she was out on vacation in the big blue skies heading out to California. I really, really like this shot. You get a sense of implied motion. You get some drama in it because of the clouds and the how it has the dark areas in it. So it gives the clouds some nice texture, and you can just see the distance way off in the yonder in the horizon. She lined up the horizon like perfectly straight across the screen. Tony really did a good job with this shot, considering you're having to shoot this through an airplane window. And I don't know about you, King, but when you try to shoot through an airplane window, you really, really got to sort of press your phone just right up against the glass, because you'll get either some insane glare from the sun, depending on where you're seated. You'll get artifacts that's on the outside of the glass, already on the glass, that you just can't avoid. So a lot of times you really have to just position it just right and hold still because you're going 500 miles an hour and vibrating and so forth. So it is a challenge, in my opinion, to take a nice shot from an airplane.
I love that shot because I love flying, and I love everything. You know, watching all the different parts of the airplane, like all the flaps, slats, and all that stuff.
Yes.
And you see all of that, and just seeing how I kind of would love to. She had the picture of it was turning to see them turn, because like I said, I love my uncle flew for American Airlines.
Really awesome.
He was a DC-10, then MD-11, and then he went up to the 767 before he retired.
7, nice. I love those. They're huge.
Mm-hmm.
Love those. Sorry, yeah, I'm a plane nerd too. But I really like this shot. And again, it's such a balanced and well done. Her editing, let me see if she mentions any editing. Yeah, she used Snapseed. and she says she don't like the purples in the sky. And I disagree with her. I like having the purples in the sky because and this is all my opinion, Mr. King. When I look
I
up
do
at the
too.
sky, I look up at the sky at any given point in time. Of course, it's blue, but it's a collection of blue hues when I look up there. There's going to be some purple here and there. Sometimes there's going to be like some really dark purples, and then you might
Hmm.
have sometimes it's going to end up having some little pink highlights up there. So the fact that you can have these myriad of colors in a beautiful sky, I'm all for it. And I guess you just wanted a solid blue sky, and that's fine. But I dig the purple. I think it just gives it a more realistic effect because that's how the sky tends to look.
Yeah, and especially from that altitude, you're closer to the end of the atmosphere
Atmosphere.
going into outer space. So you're going to have more color changes than you do anywhere else. And I love this
Exactly.
picture. I love it,
Exactly.
and I love it that there's some kind of storm below them, so you can
Yep.
see all the clouds.
Yep.
And it must be big because it's even above, or
Yep.
they're getting ready. They're coming in for a
Yeah.
landing.
Or they're coming in. Yep. Good observation, brother. But shout out to you, Tony.
As I
Good
said,
job.
I love flying.
All right. And so the other one, because I said I like them both, and they're both very, very similar. I'm going to scroll up. Shout out to my man, John Davis.
Oh, and it's a night shot.
And it's a night shot. So now John has a couple things battling him versus what Miss Tony had. Um, just like Miss Tony, he has the
Same
idea of shooting out of a window on an airplane.
and
That is a challenge.
basically the same seat, same
Basically the
seat
same. Yeah.
same seat area. Even
Yeah.
I think she was more in the middle of the wing. He's a little more at the leading edge of the wing.
Yep. And so he's got the challenges of his seating position, far as being on the window at a decent angle and being able to fight off glare and fight off the scratches on the glass and all of that, as well as fight off the vibrations from moving at 400 or 500 miles per hour. Next challenge is he's shooting at night, and shooting at night tends to make your ISO on these phones go up higher if because a lot of them they can't automatically control that. So the ISO is going to go up a lot higher.
And
Shutter
frame.
speed, shutter speed is going to slow down a little bit. So it's trying to bring in as much light as possible to give you a photo. But the drawback is you're going to get noise and pixelation in some shots. And he got a little bit of pixelation here.
Yes.
Up here at this dark edges of the sky, and there's a little bit there. Thing is, though, I still like this shot, and I wonder if he could get his hands on Lightroom Mobile and put it on his HTC One. Put Lightroom Mobile on your HTC One, John. Go in there and load it up. Just load this photo up just like it is here. You don't have to do any other touch up, in my opinion. I like the dark areas. I like the light highlight areas. I think it all works the way it is. But there's a details section inside of Lightroom Mobile, and it gives you noise reduction. And go in there and select noise reduction level 2 or level 3, and I bet it will really clean up these areas here and make that smooth out to a nice bluish purple hue right there, instead of having these little spots, because if I zoom in on it, you'll see how these look like little spots.
Yes.
And that's just noise, and that happens. Like I said, you're going to have to fight that on any camera.
Yes. Even SLRs.
Yeah, you're going to fight that on any camera, even a big high-end SLR. But you're using an HTC One M8, and I know the camera tech on that thing, they use the ultra pixels.
Oh, yeah.
They got a lot smaller pixels, so it's going to struggle.
Yeah. You know what? The other thing I like about this one,
you
can see the wing configured for landing. He has the the slats are extended and bowing down.
Yep, right down the front and in the back.
In the back, they got it curved for
Mhm.
all configured for landing.
Yep.
So I love that. As I said, I love airplanes. You know, if someone said you want to go ride on an airplane, I said you won't have to pay me. I'll go.
I know. You know it.
I love flying.
I have several photos from. I have some nice shots from. Well, I'm not going to call them nice. I have some shots from when I was landing in Spain that I don't think I've published yet, and I have some shots from my recent San Francisco trip, going over the Sierras and the Rockies coming in, and so I'll see if I can pull those out because I like to take shots from the airplane. I tend to sit near the wing one way or another because, like you, I like watching the flaps move up and down. So I'll go through some of those and I'll be sure to share them with you and get your criticism, if you will.
Yeah. And I'm going to try at some point. There's been a couple of times I've been able to go up when they were doing, checking out, just got the plane out of maintenance, and they had to go up and just make sure everything's working properly before they put the aircraft back into service. And sometimes if he's been flying a lot, he'll just get, he'll get that assignment to do that just to keep his flight hours up if it's overdone.
Right.
I got to go up several times in a 747, but these were with a SLR, not a digital. It was a Canon camera. It was a Canon SLR film. Nice. And I got some detailed pictures of looking inside the engines.
Oh man.
And
I don't like you very much at all, brother.
And got to sit up in the jump seat when they were taking off and watching them work the controls.
Oh man.
Especially at that time, Americans still had their 747s because they slowly got rid of them when they replaced them with the DC-10 because it was a little more fuel efficient than the 747.
Yeah, but isn't Air Force One a 47?
Yes, it's a 747 series 500, I believe, 500 or 600.
Well, no, I've seen one or two more that are like British Airways or something.
Right, they're working on getting. I think they're getting ready to replace one of them with a Series 800, which is the last one before the Dash 8. There's a brand spanking new 747 that's come out called the 747-8. Only a very few airlines have it.
I want to fly on the Dreamliner, the 787. I want to fly on one of those. Those come out of Houston. You know that, right?
Yeah. Oh, I've seen the A380 come overhead.
Seen the A380 too? Oh, I hate you. Yeah, ooh, God, I hate you.
Lufthansa. Lufthansa comes here. Yeah. Air France comes here. And KLM. Sometimes KLM will come in with their Series 800 747, but every now and then they'll come in with the A380, that double decker.
Yeah, those are nice.
Oh yes.
Yes.
I'm like, how does that thing fly? Plus, so I've got to see the what's that Russian one? The Antov, that real big.
I'm not sure.
It's the world's largest airplane. Oh
man, I don't know.
It's a cargo plane.
Oh,
it's the one that it's a Antonov something that has 6 engines on it.
Wow. And it gets off the ground.
6
That's
engines.
Crazy.
No, 3 engines on each. No, 3 engines on each side.
Right.
And you can fit a 747 inside it.
Jeez, that's amazing. All right. Well, we won't make this photography show about airplanes, even though I could talk about them for a while.
Same here. That are trains.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Mr. King, before we go, I'd like to allow you the opportunity to tell folks where we can find all of your wonderful photos taken with your iPhone and even your SLR, because I believe you have an SLR collection too, right?
Yes, both my SLR or DSLR and iPhone pictures. I do a lot from when we have our hog meetings. That can be found on Flickr at Michael King 4023, and you'll see all my iPhone pictures on Google Plus. and Google Photos.
Nice.
And I can be found a week from, not this Saturday, a week from Saturday at my hog meeting on Bel Air Boulevard at the Bel Air Civic Center. And Monday, I'm going to be hard to find because it's my birthday.
Well, happy birthday to you, brother. Now, hog meeting, folks, that is HAUG, right?
Houston Area Apple Users Group. This shows you how I showed you how old we are. We when it was formed, there was no Macs. It was all Apple IIs, Apple
Right.
2Cs, Apple E's.
The E's.
So we were formed. We are about
40-something years, right?
45 years old.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good stuff, man. I appreciate you joining me tonight and talking about the different shots and challenge this week.
Anytime. I always set aside on the calendar. I tell everybody Thursday nights from 8 until at 9, or sometimes a little after. Don't bother me.
That's awesome.
Only time I won't be here is if we have a hurricane and we've either evacuated or we have no power. It's the only time you won't be able to I won't be in here. Otherwise, count on it every week.
Appreciate you, bro.
As long as you have it.
Appreciate you. All right. Lastly, myself, I am Ant Pruitt. Find me here all over the internet. That's about the best way I could say it. I'm on Twitter. If you go to Twitter and look up Ant Pruitt, it's going to show you Ant_Pruitt, just like that says there. Or if you go to Google Plus, I'm going to be there. Ant Pruitt. Very easy to find. Just look for the large bald-headed black guy, and that will be me. Be sure to check out our other websites, smartphone-photographers.com. That's where you'll see the reruns of this particular hangout right now. I'll try to get this thing edited and published within the next 48 hours. That's usually my goal. And we also have another site that I run that's called amazingphonephotos.com. That is the site for the folks that's got the short attention spans. Just go on there, go to the web, go to amazingphonephotos.com, hit enter, sit back, and you'll just be able to watch some amazing shots pop up on your screen, all taken with smartphones, iPhones, Samsung Galaxy. There's even some OnePlus ones on there. I mean, all of these different smartphones are sitting out there in this beautiful gallery. So be sure to check that out, and feel free to send your favorite photos over to me if you're interested, and if you think it's worthy of being published, that is. Just send it to photos@amazingphonephotos.com. Thank you to the community for your continued support. Appreciate all of our members in there for continuing to provide tips and tricks and how-tos, and also very nice photos to take a look at. If you're interested in joining our community, hit us up. You can hit me up or any of our moderators in the community, and just go to Google Plus and look up the Smartphone Photographers community hosted by Ant Pruitt. And it will have a button there that says request an invite. Click on that. That will notify myself and the other moderators directly that someone is looking to jump in. And we'll do a brief little background check on you to make sure you're somebody that will fit in, because we run this as a semi-private community. We don't want spammers. We don't want people that's just in there being looky-loos. We want people to participate in this community, which includes taking photos and sharing your photos, but it also includes sharing tips, sharing tricks, critiquing here and there, because sometimes your little criticism can help people. Hey man, you might want to tone the contrast down just a hair on that shot, and it might look a little better, and people go back and try it and they're like, wow, it really did work, thank you for the tip. Little stuff like that. That's what this community is about. It's not just showing photos. It's about showing photos and learning and spreading the knowledge about it. You feel me? All right. Mm-hmm. Thank you, folks. Be sure to check us out next Thursday, about the same time, about 9 p.m. Eastern time on Thursdays. And look for reruns on the YouTube channel. And that's about it. Thank you for watching. Be sure to click like, click subscribe, tell a friend. I appreciate you. Y'all take it easy. Peace out.